as you were up there. All right? Now Cal's not watching you or anything, so you can be even better. So you pretty much go.
Here, real quick. I mean, last night it's an emotional win against UCLA. How quickly can you put that behind you and just focus on what's ahead, because this game is obviously the Elite Eight?
I'm already done with that game. We're not thinking about that no more. We're focused on North Carolina right now.
How will experience impact tomorrow's game?
Oh, it's different. This is, I think everybody on the team's first Elite Eight besides Dom and Derek. They made it to the final game last year, so experience could play a part, but we've been through this. It's been a long season. We played them before. Honestly, that game means nothing at this point, but we've grown a lot this year. Defense has picked up, so we know if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to buckle down defensively, just like we did last time.
In this 14-game winning streak, what are some of the commonalities? What's working for you guys so well, especially over the course of that? It's been 7 weeks.
We've just been able to go at different guys. In that stretch, Bam's had a 22 and 15, another 16 rebound game. So just been able to go at different guys. Different guys have stepped up. It was a stretch during that time that we were starting off slow. I think it was a 3-game stretch. We started off slow. Teams were scoring like 16 points in the first 3 minutes of the game. After that, our defense picked up in the SEC tournament. And that's what we've been riding. We've been riding that wave. We're not scoring 90 points like we were at the beginning of the season because people just didn't know how to stop us. And guys are trying to take us out of transition. And we know if we're not going to score 30 transition points a game, we know we got to play defense. So that's what it comes down to at this point.
So you pretty much guaranteed a win upstairs. You sticking with that?
I didn't guarantee it. I said if things go as planned, like it's going in my head, we should have 3 more games. So if we come out and play Kentucky basketball and, like I said, defend the way we defended UCLA. UCLA averaged 90 points and we held them to 75. If we could defend North Carolina like that, we have a good chance to win the game.
But how hard is it, De'Aaron, to keep them out of transition? They run when you guys make buckets.
It's extremely difficult. We watched film and they scored 34 points in the first 7 seconds of the shot clock against us. That's huge. And then we watch, the way Virginia guarded them, and they held them to less than 50. Virginia is probably the best defensive team in the country, but we just got to take things from them and things that they did and just try to slow Carolina down.
When you hear the name Final Four, what does that mean to you in terms of brand of excellence?
Honestly, for me, I never went to a state tournament, anything like that. EYBL, I lost in the Elite Eight 3 years in a row. So just trying to get over this hump for me personally. And the Final Four is huge. You get to play an extra weekend than more teams in the tournament. So it's a confidence booster. Once you get to the Final Four, you don't want to let the nerves get in the way. But that's not what I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about this Elite Eight game and getting past a great Carolina team.
How have you dealt with being kind of the overlooked point guard in a sense with Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Dennis Smith, a lot of those guys getting a little bit more attention than you?
I'm comfortable in my own skin. Those guys are great players. And, people like it's happened in the league. John takes that, he talks about it, how, people want to say he's not a top 5 point guard. He just goes in and plays with a chip on his shoulder. That's what I've been trying to do. I'm not really worried about what they're doing. I can only focus on me. And, if I have a chance to go against him, I'm going at him. Joel's a great point guard. And, I'm just going to go at him. I'm going to do what it takes for my team to win. If that's scoring like I did last game, I'm going to do it. If it's defending and rebounding, that's what I'm going to do.
Speaking of John Wall, who's faster, you or John Wall?
I feel like in college, when he was 19 and I'm 19, I feel like I was faster. But right now, John, he's a different type of speed right now.
What's been the key to this stretch for you, De'Aaron? You're playing your best basketball of the season.
I don't know. Things are just clicking at the right time. Making pull-ups, making tough shots, floaters going in. I've been reading the pick and roll well. My energy just picked up defensively, and when we're playing defense, our offense is clicking like that. So just my overall game, it's been clicking. It's a process. I didn't try to rush anything. When I was struggling, I just tried to make the little plays, try to do the smaller things. And right now, I had that scoring outburst, and the SEC tournament honestly is what it gave me a huge confidence booster, especially winning MVP. Coming into the tournament with that much momentum, I'm just not trying to look back right now.
Was it a change in your mindset?
I've been playing through contact. I'm going in seeking contact, not worried about getting fouled, just getting the contact and finishing. And, Coach Barwood, he was always telling me at the beginning of the season, the way I was defending, I needed to get back to that. And, I'm doing it right now. You got to be in better shape to, pick up 94 feet and then, sprint when you have the ball and do things like that. So I'm just trying to get back to what I was doing at the beginning of the season, but shooting the ball better.
I imagine being in a zone for you is a very different thing than what Malik's zone is, given the variance in your games. When do you know that you're on track for a night like you had yesterday?
Honestly, after like the first 3 buckets, I think my first one was a floater, then my second one was a pull-up, and it was off by isolation, not a pick and roll or anything like that. So when that went in, I felt like I was gonna have a big night, and I ended up having one.
Are you guys super conscious of that you two need to be the primary scoring options to keep advancing in this tournament?
Not necessarily. Whoever has the hot hand, that's who we go to. Don played fantastic yesterday. Derek played well. Isaac played well off the bench. If Bam, when Bam gets it going, we're gonna give him the ball. So it's just yesterday. It was my game. So they kept feeding me when I went to the bench. You saw Malik start heating up. So we don't have one scorer on our team. We can go at anybody.
How much do you need a third out of the big game?
It's gonna be huge. Last time Malik had 50, so that was different. But we can't depend on him doing that again. That's tough for him to do. That's tough for anyone to do. But we just going in. Honestly, it's not about our offense. If we like I said, if we can buckle down defensively, our offense is gonna come. So if we're playing defense, we're confident in the way we play.
How different of a team are you guys now, as opposed to that December game?
That December game, it was no defense in that game. You're playing a 40-minute game, and it's 100 to 103. So both teams have gotten better. But like I said, even with the UCLA game, that could have been in the hundreds. Yesterday we showed that we can defend. That team has so many shooters, so many ways to beat you, and we didn't shut it down just because that's impossible to shut a good team like that down. But just try to contain them, and we know we're gonna have to do the same thing against North Carolina.
What are the specific challenges the Tar Heels bring to you?
Honestly, it's almost the same as UCLA. The way that they get out in transition, except the Tar Heels, they got 2 physical presence in the paint, and that's another thing. And UCLA, they're not as big as North Carolina, so but mainly it's going to come from transition defense. We can't give up almost 40 points in transition to a team like that. That's not a recipe to win.
Darren, what impresses you most about Malik's game?
Just the way he has tough shots. When his shot's going, literally he can close his eyes and throw it up there and it's gonna go in. But the way he did, that's just something that's tough to do. But looking away from that, but when he's not scoring, he's defending. Before this year, like he said, he never played defense in his life, and he's one of the most athletic guards in the country. So we all know he can defend, and when he's locked in, he's different. Like he's running passing lanes. He's able to pick people at half court, and he's just doing what he needs to do to win. And when he's hot, we're gonna ride him.
And what could you possibly do for an encore after what you did last night?
Just keep getting to the basket. I'm staying in attack mode. I've been in attack mode this whole postseason, and it paid off. Yesterday, I had a better game even than I did against Alabama in the tournament. So I'm not changing anything I'm doing. We lost to UCLA, so that kind of put more of a chip on my shoulder, made me want to beat them even more. But we beat this team, and it's harder to beat a team twice. So especially a team of this caliber. So just got to go in, just stay aggressive.
What do you appreciate about Joel Berry's game?
Joel's great. He's not that tall, but Joel's strong. He can shoot the ball. And he's not as fast as me, but he pushes the ball in transition. He gets layups. I've watched some of their games. I grew up kind of a North Carolina fan, so and then I love my man Justin, so I support him and watch him. But Joel's great. He's gonna push the ball. He's not selfish, but when it's winning time, him and Justin are the ones to step up and make the big plays.
What made you a North Carolina fan?
I don't know, just watching them. Knowing Michael Jordan went there, just it's just one of the teams that you kind of watched and just like watching them play. And they've always been winning, so I've never seen a season since I've been alive and could comprehend basketball. I've never seen a season where they didn't have a winning record.
Darren, your high school coach said your third game as a freshman, you scored 50. He pulled you out and said, "Is this going to change you?" What do you remember about that, and how have you tried to not, as your fame escalates, be different?
I remember that game like it was yesterday, because I actually played the Harrison Twins my first high school game. Then it was a tournament right after that, and Nimitz the team that we played hadn't given up 50 to a team the entire season, and we ended up scoring 88. I had 50, and I was a quiet kid back then, and I mean, I'm more outgoing just 'cause I've grown up, but it hasn't changed me at all. I mean, I'm still a kid. I'm still kind of to myself. I move to the beat of my own drum. You know, I'm still humble. One thing, you know, people always, they're like, why aren't you cocky and things like that? Because it would be a player like not as good as me and they'd be cocky, and I'm just like, there's no point of, I'm gonna stay who I am.
Gary, what was that process like with the Kentucky team changing from a run and gun and outscore the other team to this defensive team? How did that happen?
It was different. It was difficult. You know, we had to do it just because teams aren't going to let us get out of transition like we did at the beginning of the year. You know, we might not have known who we were at the beginning of the year, but if we didn't know, then teams didn't know who we were. So once people started figuring us out, we know we'd have to grind it out and, you know, not rely on scoring 100 points a game.
What does it mean to you to know that Carol is still following you? Carol Barnett is still following you and sort of tracking every moment and celebrating as you go along after kind of what you shared with them.
It's great. I had never been through something like that. That's just, I mean, it's fantastic. You know, just knowing her son, you know, getting to know their family. You know, actually finding out, you know, they're from Kentucky. I think she actually moved here. So I actually saw her at a few Rupp games. So yeah, it's just something that changes, that just makes you appreciate life more.
How did you read Coach going out of his way to praise Bam there? Is he a guy who needs a pat in the back, or is he underappreciated?
Bam doesn't need a pat in the back, but I mean, we all appreciate what Coach does, and I mean, like Coach says, Bam doesn't complain. There's been games Bam had 22 and 15 or 16 or 18 and 16, something like that. And when he has a high hand, we keep going to him. But you know, when he sees someone has a high hand, and knowing the team's gonna double team him, he's so unselfish. He's gonna pass it, and he's still gonna rebound. He's still gonna defend. Bam could be 0 for 10, and he's still gonna block shots. He's still gonna defend. And I mean, that's just what you love in a player. And Bam's no different than that.
Does he demand the ball as much?
Have you been on a team growing up like this, where guys are genuinely okay with another guy going off?
Yeah. I mean, AAU, playing with the Houston Hoops, we've always had, you know, the best guy on their high school team, and just coming together, we knew what we had to do to win, and it was shared. So, I mean, I played with my freshman year of high school, freshman year summer, I was with Justice Winslow, Justin Jackson, Kelly Oubre. If somebody had the high hand, they fed them, and it didn't matter who it was.
How about Derek Willis? The importance of the veterans' leadership, the senior in the lineup. What experience has he shared with you? Because he's played with many good Kentucky teams.
Yeah, he's extremely important. I mean, Derek knocks down big shots for us. You know, stuff that, you know, Malik does or only the seniors do. They just talk about, him and Dom just talk about how different it is when you're in a game like this. The atmosphere. You know, we played this team, but a lot more is at stake right now. So. I mean, he just talks about how different the game is. You know, it feels like it's a lot more pressure, but just go out and, you know, play your game, you know, have fun. Don't try to think of it too much, because if you are, then that's when you just have those bad
Did you
mistakes.
do any hazing with the freshmen, you know, when you guys came in? You guys are new.
Nah, it's a lot more of us than them. Nah, they didn't try that.
How high was the level of play, do you think, in that first Carolina game?
It was extremely high. Offensively, I can say, but, you know, defensively, it's tough to stop two teams like that. But if we're gonna win this game, we know we got to do it.
Derek, when you guys played in Garden against Michigan State, you had a great defensive effort, especially against Miles Bridges. And Zay mentioned that at one point you guys were playing great defense and you kind of got away from it. Was it just a matter of it was more fun to go 97, 92, and 103 to 100, and you kind of got caught up in it? Or? I
mean, it's fun, but when you're locking down, that's just that brings a different type of energy to you. So, I mean, if you're able to lock a team down, I feel like that's more fun than scoring 120 points on a team.
Why did you get away from it?
Last question.
I don't know. You know, we're young, so sometimes you just stray away from things that you were doing good.
Did you ever see Malik get down during a cold streak?
No. Man, Malik can miss 100 shots in a row and shoot the next one we all think is going in. So, and even if he does miss 100 in a row, you drive to his side, I'll bet you $100 that his defender doesn't help, and he can be cold as ice. They're not going to help off of him.
Darren, rank for me 1, 2, 3 most impressive. You're 39, Monk's 47 against Carolina, Booker's 70 last night. 1, 2, 3.
Booker's 70, Malik's 50. Mine's last in that.
Was last night a volcano eruption for Malik, or was it just rumble?
That was just a rumble. It was a good game. You know, some lava probably spilled over a little bit, but 21. That's Malik's average. That's what he does.